Hello and welcome to Elizabeth's Craft Room. Today's project was actually inspired by this designer series paper. This is part of the it's called Sweet Sorbet collection, which is free during celebration. You can receive this free. And I really liked this image here of this flower. Now it's the flower that comes from this stamp set, Petal Parade. You know how Stampin' Up get everything to match. But I liked that colour combination and I wanted to see if I could achieve that. And I wanted quite a few of them on my image, on my project. So I've gone back to an idea that I learned from a fellow demonstrator. I have all the instructions written down on how to do this and not her name. So, fellow demonstrator in Amanda Fowler's team, please tell me what your name is and I will credit you on this video and on my blog. So we're going to start with some funky foam. Now this is this cheap foam stuff you can get from your local craft store or arts and crafts place. Just a foam sort of material. I had some in my cupboard for absolutely ages, never did anything with it, threw it away. A week later I learned this technique, so I had to go and buy some more. Isn't that annoying? So what we're going to basically do is to be able to have this stamp so that we can make our own stamp pad. It means that we don't have to do a marker to stamp technique to get multiple colours, and that you can do this image over and over again. So the first thing you need to do is to mark on the back of the image which is upwards, and also mark on your foam pad which is upwards. I'm just doing that with a pencil. And you'll see why in a moment. And then you're going to use stays on. You're going to stamp the image with stays on. So give that a good clean up now. Now, the next thing is we need to apply colour to this image, but the most effective way of getting that colour to stay on the image is to put little holes in it. Now I'm using a pricking tool and going over all of those areas. Does it take a long time? Not really. You don't need to sort of go mad, but you can see I'm just basically pricking over all of those areas, and you can go a little bit on the outside, it doesn't matter. Pricking all of those areas that are going to absorb the ink, and it just helps it go in. So I will just get this finished and come back to you. So now I'm just going to finish off by for pricking in the middle here, and it's taken me, I would say, less than a minute to do this little image. But you will see that it will save you an awful lot of time compared to doing marker to stamp. So now I want to add my colour, and I'm going to go for exactly the same colours that they have on here. And you can always tell what the colours are on the Stampin' Up papers, because on the back it will tell you all the colours that are used in any given paper. So I'm using Crisp Cantaloupe for the middle. So I'm going to start there. Now when you're doing this, less is definitely more. You don't want to have too much ink on there. It will soak in a little bit, but when I had my first attempt at this, we were gloopy ink all over the place, and that wasn't what we were going. So a very gentle squeeze to get it going, and then you're just going to kind of wiggle the ink over those areas. And don't worry about going over the lines, that's okay, because the stamp will only pick up the ink where the image is, if you see what I mean. So on the bits that are white on the stamp, it won't pick that ink up. Okay. Now my tip here is, if you can see that you've got a bit too much ink, so if you can still see it quite wet on there, which is not too bad here, but just take a cotton bud or Q-tip if you're in the States, and just give that a little dab over on those areas and take off your excess ink. Okay, and that's it, you're ready to stamp. So I'll just give you a little sample. So the reason for the arrow now is I'm going to roughly line that up. I'm not worrying about lining it up perfectly, although this is a lot easier to do with a clear mount stamp than with wood mount, because you're not having, you know, you don't need to use a Stamp-A-Majig or anything. And how cool is that? So let me show you the original on the designer paper, and there's mine. How fabby! Use my new ink pad that I have created to make a card, and I'm going to take Pool Party as the colour for the background, which is also in that paper. And I'm going to use a couple. I look forward to welcome you again. Of these, they're sort of like leaves. I like these images. Now just remember to keep your arrow in the same direction as your ink pad, and just press it down. A good press down. And you'll see that you can go over and over and over again on this. This would go all round a table at a you know, at my classes of 8, with no trouble with people doing several images. I even found that when they dried out, if I gave them a little spritz with some water and just spritzed over, because they're water based, they would come back again, maybe a little bit paler, but they would actually come back again, and you can use them, you know, you can keep on using them. So I think that it's a really fun idea. So I'm just using Sassy Salutations and a happy birthday to go on there. Pretty. And I'll probably have a little play with this and put some more ideas, put some more bits on, because, you know, it's me and more is more. But I hope you've enjoyed that technique. Have a little go yourself. Find that funky foam before you throw it out. Have a little go with this and see what you think. Thanks very much for visiting today. I look forward to seeing you again soon.